Hi everyone, I'm Miss Angelica Cortez Bustamante, a student in Masters in Early Child Education in Negros Oriental State University. So as a partial requirement in our course MAECE 502, I am tasked to report about the K-12 Basic Education Curriculum. In Section 2 of RA 1057, it provides that all 5-year-old children shall be given equal opportunities for kindergarten education to effectively promote their physical, social, emotional, and intellectual development, including values formation, so that they will be ready for school. And in Section 5 of RA 10517, it states that the adoption of mother tongue-based multilingual education, or what we call as MTBMLE. So as a teacher, we must use the first language of our learners. I have here a quotation from Harvard 2009. The first years of life are important because what happens in early childhood can matter in a lifetime. So this means that kindergarten is the transition period from informal to formal literacy, which is from grades 1 to 12. It is a stage where self-esteem, vision of the world, moral foundations are established, where their mind's absorptive capacity for learning is at sharpest. As parents and teachers, what should we do? Please take note that parents and teachers, caregivers, or adults should therefore be guided to facilitate explorations of our young learners in an engaging, interactive, creative, and child-centered curriculum that is developmentally appropriate and which immerses them into a meaningful experiences. The Kindergarten Curriculum Framework. The Kindergarten Curriculum Framework draws from the goals of the K-12 Philippine Basic Education Curriculum Framework and adopts the general principles of the National Early Learning Framework on NCLF. Kindergarten learners need to have smooth transition to the content-based curriculum of grades 1 to 12. The items in rectangles in Figure 1 show the theoretical basis for teaching learning in the early years, which are founded in constructivism, integrative, thematic, collaborative, inquiry-based, and reflective teaching in play-based approaches with application of the developmentally appropriate practices, or the DAP. These support the principles of child growth and development and the learning program development and assessment. The circles, on the other hand, signify the system of how kindergarten education is to be employed. The interlocked ellipses represent the learning domains that have to be nurtured and equally imparted to holistically developed children. It also forms a flower that portrays the gradual unfolding but steady development as is expected out of every child. That child is seen as being in the process of blossoming like a flower bud whose development should not be forced lest it lose its chance to fully mature. The domains are enclosed by the learning areas, while children will meet in grade 1 onward, for which they are being prepared. The utmost layer indicates the curricular themes upon which the Kindergarten Curriculum Guide, or KCG, or the Teacher's Guide is designed. It has been crafted using the thematic or integrative approach to curriculum development in a spiraling learning process. This approach employs integrative and interactive teaching learning strategies as well as child-centered learning experiences. Let's go back to the different theoretical bases. Let's start with constructivism. Teachers, when we say constructivism, it is an approach to teaching learning process that emphasizes learners as active participants and prioritizes exploration and questioning. As teachers, please take note that it's very important that in kindergarten, our 5-year-old learners should be naturally curious and trying to make sense of the world. So let us make them be curious, ask questions on their minds. The second one is the integrative approach. So when we say integrative approach, it helps pupils get a unified view of reality and enhances their capability to acquire real-life skills. So teachers, we can use integrative approach by linking learning content between and among subject areas. There is integration when pupils are able to connect what they are learning in one subject area to a related content in another subject area. And the third one is the thematic approach. Thematic approach is an approach to teaching which involves integrating all subject areas together under one theme. It crosses over subject limits and helps children relate basic academic skills to real-world ideas. And the last one is reflective teaching. When we say reflective teaching, as a teacher, we need to look what we do inside the classroom, think about why we do it, and think about if it works. A process of self-observation and self-evaluation. Let's go back to the circles of the kindergarten curriculum framework, which are the 7 learning domains. When we say learning domains, they have to be nurtured and equally imparted to holistically developed children. In this figure, it forms a flower that portrays that gradual unfolding but steady development as is expected of every child. The child is seen as being in the process of blossoming like a flower bud, whose development should not be first least lose its chance to fully mature. And the following are the 7 learning domains. So the first one is the socio-emotional development. The second one is values development. The third one is physical health and motor development. The fourth one, aesthetic or creative development. Fifth one, mathematics. Sixth one, understanding of physical and natural environment. And the last one is language, literacy, and communication. And the next component of the kindergarten curriculum framework are the learning areas. There are 7 learning areas. When we say learning areas, these are the subjects that children will meet in grade 1 onward for which they are being prepared. And the following are the learning areas. First, social studies. Second, values education. Third, physical education and health. Fourth, music and arts. Fifth, mathematics. Sixth, science. And the last one is language. And the last component of the kindergarten curriculum framework are the curricular themes. When we say curricular themes, these are the themes upon which Kindergarten Curriculum Guide or KCG or the Teacher's Guide is designed. It has been crafted using the thematic or integrative approach to curriculum development in a spiraling learning process. The following are the curricular themes. First, myself. Second, my family. Third, my school. Fourth, my community. And last is things around me. The general guiding principles. The general guiding principles are divided into 3 categories. The first one is own child development. And under own child development is every child is unique. Yes, this is very much true. Every child is unique. Growth and development vary from child to child, for whom the first 8 years of life are most vital. He or she has an innate desire to learn, and this is best done through meaningful experience. So as teachers inside the kindergarten classrooms, we need to see that each our learners are not alike. They are very much different from each other. So we need to see them one by one. And the next principle under own child development is every aspect of growth and development is interrelated and interdependent. So the child needs to be nurtured in a good and caring environment. that enhances healthy and dependable relationships with other children and most significant adults. The third one is the learning and development of every child involve series of complex and dynamic processes that are best attended to in a more positive and responsive manner. And the fourth principle under child development is that the child must be encouraged to aspire beyond one's own level of achievements and practice newly acquired competencies. Yes, so as teachers, we need to encourage our learners to practice or apply what we have learned and to go beyond their abilities. And the last principle under child development is everyone is thinking, moving, feeling, and interactive human being to actively participate in the learning and development of the self in the context of one's family and community, including cultural and religious beliefs. Yes, we all know that we are all learners and we are human beings who are thinking, moving, feeling, and interacting to another. And the second category under general guiding principles is own learning program development. The first one is the learning program is child-centered. Yes, when you say the program is child-centered, it promotes the holistic way by which young children grow and develop and recognize the role of families and communities in supporting the child through various stages of growth development. The second one is the learning program is appropriate for developing the domains and must sustain interest in active learning of all young children, including those with special abilities, marginalized, and or those at risk. Yes, we should take note, teachers, that no student should be left behind inside our classroom, especially in a kindergarten classroom. The third principle is that learning program is implemented by way for diverse learning activities that may be enhanced with multimedia technologies. So for example of this are interactive radio, audio or video clips, and computer-enhanced activities. Nowadays, we are now in the 21st century, and this is very much familiar to all of us. And the last principle under learning program development is the use of learning materials and other resources that are locally developed. Yes, please take note. Locally developed and or locally available is encouraged. So the mother tongue shall be used as the child's language of learning. So whatever materials or resources that are available in our locality, we need to use or utilize them. And our last category on the general guiding principles is own learning assessment. The first one is assessment is done to monitor learning, know where the child is, and inform parents of the child's progress. Yes, this is very much true. We need to evaluate, assess the progress of our learners in the kindergarten classroom, and of course, the next step in assessing their progress is of course to inform the parents of their progresses. The second one is assessment is crucial in identifying the child's total development needs and does not determine academic achievement. Assessment is very crucial. This is very much true. It is a crucial stage wherein it does not only determine academic achievement of our child, but the total developmental needs of our child. The third one is assessment is best conducted on a regular basis so that a timely response for intervention can be made to improve learning. That is why we have different grading periods where we are going to assess the progresses of our learners, and we need to have regular basis on it for us to have or to design intervention after the assessment. The fourth one is the results of the learning assessment of a child shall be kept strictly confidential. Oh, teachers, please take note this, because the results of whatever assessment that we made to our students, those results are very much confidential. If there are certain parents that would ask to see the results of assessment, especially for other students, please take note, teachers, that it is a very big no, because those results are all confidential. You can let the parents see the results of his or her child, but to the other students, it's a very big no. Okay, then the rating should be more on qualitative or descriptive and less numerical. That's why we have now A, B, C, or the letters for the different ratings for our students. The numbers is very much prohibited nowadays. And the last principle is that the family and community must be informed of the general outcomes of learning so as to encourage further cooperation and partnerships. That's why we have the school-home partnerships, because we all know that the family of the child and the community contribute to the development of that child. That's why we have Brigada Escuela, we have the different seminars that are conducted by our community. That is why we need to have strong partnerships with the community and the school, or home and school. The developmental domains. Developmental domains refer to the specific aspects of growth and changes in children. These are represented by the ellipses to show interconnectedness in the holistic development. The contents of each developmental domain are defined by learning expectations as follows. First in line is socio-emotional development, or pagpapaunlad ng socio-emotional at kakayahang makipamuhay. In this learning domain, children are expected to develop emotional skills, basic concepts pertaining to her or himself, how to relate well with other people in his or her immediate environment, which is the family and the community, demonstrate awareness of one's social identity, and appreciate cultural diversity among the school, community, and other people. The second one is values development, or kakandahang asal. In this learning domain, children are expected to show positive attitude, self-concept, respect, concern for self and of course for others, behave appropriately in various situations and places, manifest love of God, country, and fellow men. And the third domain is that physical health and motor development, or kalusugang pisikal at pagpapaunlad sa kakayahang motor. In this learning domain, children are expected to develop both their fine and gross motor skills to be efficient and effective movers when engaging in wholesome physical and health activities. They are also expected to acquire an understanding of good health and health habits and develop their awareness about the importance of safety and how they can prevent danger at home, in school, and in public places. The fourth one is the aesthetic or creative development, or the scening. In this learning domain, children are expected to develop their aesthetic sense, being creative, and creative expression through drawing, of course, painting, and manipulative activities. Aesthetic development involves the love and pursuit of beauty in art, music, and movement, and creates opportunities for the creative expression of emotions, thoughts, feelings, and ideas. The fifth one is, of course, mathematics. I hope children love mathematics. In mathematics, children are expected to understand and demonstrate knowledge, thinking skills, and insights into patterns of mathematics, concepts of numbers, length, capacity, mass, and time through the use of concrete objects or materials and to apply this meaningfully in their daily experience. That's why in the kindergarten classroom, most of our learners play with blocks. In that simple blocks, they can count numbers, and of course, we can integrate colors as well. Children are provided with varied manipulative activities, as what I've said a while ago, to help them see relationship and interconnections in math and enable them to deal flexibly with mathematical ideas and concepts. Okay, next one is understanding of the physical and natural environment. In this learning domain, children are expected to demonstrate a basic understanding of concepts pertaining to living and non-living things, including weather, and use this in categorizing things in his or in environment. They are also expected to acquire the essential skills and sustain their natural curiosity in their immediate environment through exploration, of course, discovery, observation, and relate their everyday experiences using their senses, which are the sense of touch, sight, smell, taste, and hearing. And the last domain is the language literacy and communication. In this domain, let us provide opportunities on early literacy, learning for self-expression through language using the mother tongue or the child's first language. Children are expected to develop communicative skills in their first language. They are also expected inside our kindergarten classroom to develop more positive attitudes towards reading, which is very much important. Writing, of course, and to view themselves as effective users and learners of language. So let us use the collaborative approach that I discussed a while ago in language literacy and communication, wherein we are going to group our students, communicate. Let them communicate with their partners or within their group mates. The curricular themes. The curricular themes adheres to Bronfenbrenner's bioecological theory that defines layer of environment, each having an effect on a child's holistic development. The layers are as follows. Of course, the first in line is myself. It is about concepts and ideas that help the learners understand himself or herself better so that he or she will develop as an individual. After myself, the next is my family. These are the concepts, ideas, practices that guide the child to be responsible and proud of himself and his family. The third one is my school. My school, under this are the concepts, ideas, practices, and situations that help the child understand how to be an individual and socialize with other learners, teachers, and other school personnel. The fourth one is my community. These are the concepts, ideas, and practices, situations, and responsibilities that the learner should acquire and understand so that he or she will become a functional and responsive member of the community. And the last layer under curricular themes is more things around me. These are all other concepts, ideas, practices, situations, and responsibilities beyond themes 1 to 4, which are myself, my family, my school, and my community, but which may be relevant to the community, culture, and interest of the learner. The transition paradigm. So as we have observed in the transition paradigm, this is the transition from kindergarten to grade 1. We have the kindergarten domains and of course the learning areas which are aligned to the grade 1 learning domains and learning areas. So this figure illustrates the interrelatedness of the development domains and the learning areas. The domain-based skills are intended to be developed in the kindergarten are aligned to the learning area content-based curriculum to the grade 1. Domains are strategically integrated in the context of the blocks of time as contained in the KCG or teaching guide. Activities tackle different but interrelated domains for the smooth and successful transition of every 5-year-old Filipino child from kindergarten on to grades 1 to 12 basic education. And to end this presentation, I have here a quotation from an anonymous which states that with the right mindset and the right teaching, children are capable of more than we think. Yes, this is very much true. So with the right mindset, we have the different goals and objectives on what our learners in the kindergarten should accomplish, and the right teaching, because in our hands as kindergarten teachers, we can change something through our learners. And with this, children are capable of more than we think, because as one of the principles and the general guiding principles, we have there that we need to encourage our learners to go beyond their expectations and abilities for that, because with the right mindset and the right teaching, children or the kindergarten children or students are capable beyond on what they can think. So I hope that everything is clear in this discussion and we learn something. Thank you and God bless.